You get funding for a trucking business incredibly fast and even same day instant approval, whether you are a startup or non-startup, so you can continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch you might be currently or in the future may be facing. Hi, this is Michael from Viral Home-Based Pursuits, and in this video, I'm going to cover the 10 plus best small business loan options for your trucking business, the best to see, nothing else out there like this. And if you haven't seen anything I've come out with in the past, I do come out with videos like this on alternative lending, more specifically, different opportunities, different vehicles, different ways for you to get funded for all types of different industries as well. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, click on the little bell notification icon next to it so you don't miss a future video I come out with. Now, let's get into this. What you're looking at is a post I made on the blog where I put all the options together, and you're seeing here fast cash for truckers. Is there really such a thing? And I go into a little bit here how I've heard it all, I've seen it all, and I've been working with truck drivers like yourself, been in that business, helping a lot of people understand what options they have on the table for them for all different types, owner operators, hotshots, the list goes on and on. I've seen it and time again for startups and non-startups, where you're falling behind. For example, if you're over here trying to look up options for the SBA at the time of me making this video, which by the way, if you're questioning what the heck is behind this guy, you're like, where is he making this video from? I'm in my room. It's Friday, October 22nd, 2021, 10:30 p.m. I'm so invested. I want to help you guys so much. I had this on my mind today. I couldn't get to it earlier and even earlier in the week. So I want to do this for you right now. That's how much I care. But coming back to this, COVID-19 relief options, you have the SBA EIDL, the disaster loans, right? Everybody's trying to get one, trying to get themselves out of that tight pinch, payroll expenses, etc. All of the types of SBA loans, but it's very difficult to get one. It's becoming more improbable, and the odds are kind of stacked against you. Whether you have already applied and you're currently waiting, those PPPs, the grants, these different types of government options, it's not as easy, okay? And there are alternatives. So don't worry, we're gonna go over those here in a minute. So let's jump right into this. So if you wanted fast lending, right? Fast, call them cash advances or even fast loans, there are things like merchant cash advances and revenue-based funding, which you're going to hear a little bit more as we go on here. But I made also a separate video for this for revenue-based funding. I'll leave it down below in the description. You can check that out, what it's all about, why that's one of my preferred ways to get funding, not only for a trucking business with working capital, but how you can use that for equipment, get into equipment financing and so much more, refinancing later down the future if that's what you wish to do. So I won't go into that, but the best small business loans for truckers, here we go. My number one, it is David Allen Capital, Inc. Now, who are they? Why should you care? And so DAC, they are like the go-to solution for revenue-based fundings as a non-startup. We're talking about as little as 4+ months in business, as low as a 450 plus FICO, and more requirements in there that are very standard. And you can get funding same day, instant approval within a day or two. So you can deposit that, get that deposited, and then be able to use that for whatever it is you need to grow and expand. You can also build and get out of a tight pinch as well. And it's revenue based. So we're going to look at what you're doing month to month. This is DAC. And there will be more about this down below in the description. There's a video that I made specifically about it, reviewing the program, the different services, and if it's beneficial to you. So you can get up to 2 million, get approved within a day, and then you get funds within a day or two, more or less, depending on your specific circumstances. But it's very fast. Same day funding, they even have up to 25,000, no recourse customer financing, no fee payment processing. I won't go through everything here, but the business capital side of things, very minimal requirements. When your bank or the SBA can't help, we can, and I'm here to help you get this type of service. It's unparalleled. There's nothing else out there like this in the market today, where they don't operate like a merchant cash advance. If you ever heard of that, that's where basically the lenders will take your credit information, and whenever you make profits or so, they'll take a percentage away of your future credit card sales, your future credit card receivables. So they're taking a little bit out, And then there's never fixed rates or fixed monthly payback terms. It could be constantly changing depending on your circumstances in your business. So it's very sporadic. And those are 50% generally more expensive than what DAC has. They don't take into account a future percentage of your credit card sales. They don't do that here. Okay, we don't do any of that. We have fixed terms. We have fixed no interest rates actually, no collateral, and then no hard credit checks, which I know it's a little bit hard to believe when you hear no interest rates. We calculate on total payback. I won't go into depth into that in this video, again, in the description to learn more about DAC. But we're talking about as low as 4 months in business, can reside anywhere in the US. Personal credit for this specific service is 500 plus, but the Bank Breezy I'll show you, it's 4 plus, 20 plus month in revenue within the last 3 at least to 6 months, and over 700 industries have been served, and up to 25,000 if you're somebody who doesn't need, it's still a lot, but if you're somebody who's like, I just need up to 25,000, what can I get right now to use? Then you have the instant approval, same day funding with Bank Breezy. They've partnered with one of the best MCAs, merchant cash advance companies, called Biddy Advance, but they're not a traditional MCA. That's what you got to get. If you've probably been around, you're like, I don't want an MCA, high interest rates on that. We don't deal with that. This is a hybrid. And so this is completely different. Okay, and that's why there's nothing else out there like this. As low as 5,000 plus monthly bank revenue, business checking account, 6 months in business, 450 plus credit score. All industries are welcome. Early pay discounts, transparent terms, payment history will earn you more. Receive funds again, personalized account manager. A lot of advantages that you wouldn't get elsewhere. Now, that is with DAC. Again, down below in the description, if you want to learn more about the up to 2 million, the Bank Breezy, Biddy Advance, those types of things, you know where to look. No rates, as we went over, best lenders, 50 plus of the best lenders there. Early payback reward discounts. You can use the revenue-based funding working capital to buy equipment and continue to get more of it time and time again. So that's a great option. And I speak to many truckers in conversation if we are on a chat. Sometimes, we'll get on a call and I can discuss the best options for you, but working capital is a great way to get into. Okay, number 2, we have Lendio. And let me see if I can quickly type that in here. And I won't type in all of them, but this is Lendio as we're loading. Access 75 plus lenders with one simple application. Let's grow your business. So what they do is they're an online marketplace. So they're like the middleman that connect you to the lenders. Okay, so you're gonna put your application in, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna send these applications out, your application out to the right lenders. Okay, and depending on what industry you're in, you'll go to a specific one. And so that's what they've done. They've made it very easy, and they're one of the best for startup funding options. So if you are a startup, I would highly consider going into Lendio, and there'll be more information. This post, you can access it down below in the description. With startup trucking business loans, bad credit, as opposed to DAC, who is more of a non-startup. This you get more of a startup and non-startup, but it's great. It's a great way to get into for cash advances and so forth and so much more. So you can click the link down below. I should leave one so you can access this blog. If not, I may leave them separately in the description so you can access there. Cabbage offers small business lines of credit from 500 to 250,000. They will weigh your FICO credit scores a lot less while qualifying you because they're looking for you to have at least 1 year in business and have at least 50,000 a year in annual revenue. That's a different one. So national funding, number 4. You can get custom business loans, equipment financing, working capital, and they, like Cabbage, they are very lenient on credit scores, only asking for a 620 FICO score. And some of the benefits, 5K to 50,000 in financing, you can get if you have 1 year of time in business and 100,000 in sales. National funding brokers without other sources, just in case you can't get funding directly through them. So what they do nicely is if you apply through them and they can't find a match, they'll send that application out to other lenders from different industries and different programs. So they come to you and help you regardless, based on revenue mostly, similar to DAC with David Allen Capital. Good Capital offers loans and transport financing specifically in the transportation industry. This is one of my favorites up there for trucking business, and I've helped out plenty come through here. If you're looking for more of that equipment side, they offer bank and SBA financing up to millions, 650 FICO credit score, alternative financing options if you have less than a 650 FICO. Okay, and just very quickly, right here it says if you want a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, this is going to go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and show you how this looks. if you want to understand the process before you go and fill out an application, what it takes step by step, what you should know. So by the time you walk in, you set that application in and you know for a fact you're going to get approved. Make sure to pick this up down below in the description. I put it in specifically. There's going to be a lot of bonus content as well, right? You want to be able to see all that before you go in, so you don't waste your time anymore. And you built up all this stress because you're unsure of how it's going to go. You don't want to go into that assuming, okay? Now, Fundera, number 6, similar to Lendio, it's like an online marketplace. If you can't get equipment financing up to 10 years with Fundera, I mean, you can get, excuse me, plus you can just have a 650 FICO, just as some of the ones we've just seen previously. They also offer short-term financing for scores as low as 525, but your rates aren't going to be as good as if you had a 650 FICO credit score, and that goes just about anywhere else. Number 7, Headway Capital. With Headway Capital, you can get lines of credit up to 100,000 for 12, 18, or even 24 months. So they are shorter. We're considering that in the shorter phase, up to 2 years there. Requirements: 1 year in business, 50,000 in annual revenue. So you're kind of seeing more or less a common occurrence that some of these, they require you to have some type of revenue coming in, whether it's monthly, what are we calculating at it annually. And I've given you so far some non-startup, but I'll get into that a little bit more later. Clarify Capital. This platform offers term loans, lines of credit, invoice factoring, equipment financing, working capital loans, merchant cash advances, all up to 750,000. So it's one of the upper end loans amounts on our list here. LVRG LLC, you get cash flow financing, working capital, revenue-based funding, business lines of credit, term loans, cash advances, up to 5 million in funding. Here's more: 6 months time in business, 10,000 a month in revenue. LVRG is not helping startups, but they will help you with credit since they focus on revenue mostly. Number 10, OnDeck, very popular one here for all types of trucking. So one of the biggest in the revenue lending merchant cash advance space, although they're not 100% as focused as they used to be on that. They have different options. Term loans up to 36 months. So now we're talking a little bit of a medium. I wouldn't call it so much of a long term because now it's just another 12 months thereafter. You can consider it that. Up to 100,000 in financing credit lines are available. So if you have better credit lines, you can get a loan and a credit line. And this is first source that actually gives you cash flow based financing. 11, Fundbox, one of my favorite credit line companies who do 2 types of financing. It's invoice factoring, that's up to 100,000, and then revenue up to 100,000. All they look at is your bank account and don't need bank statements. Okay, so that's different there. And you're going to see this across trucking and any other type of industry that you will be asked for bank statements for just the majority of them. This is just different with Fundbox. So just expect to have your bank statements ready for the last 3 to 6 months, or however that is, whatever depends on the program and the requirements. But you should always have that. It should always be business checking account, is online banking set up, your bank statements, make sure you have that ready. Just credit score requirements, what's your revenue for calculating revenue-based funding, and just a few things like LLC or Corp, shared identity, minimal NSFs, insufficient funds or negative days. We take considerations into if you already have a different MCA or a different partner you're with, but don't. The thing too is, like, I dealt with an individual not too long ago who I was trying to help him get funding, and it turned out that everything lined up except they had a previous default on a MCA, a merchant cash advance, and whether it was some time ago, but that's what it came down to. And the underwriters and then the lenders would see that, and they would classify you. If it were your case, they'd say, we can't give you a tier A lender, maybe we'll jump to a tier B, and if that doesn't work, we'll try with the C. And if we couldn't do that, then it's a concern for a bigger issue, and they just don't want to take that risk on you. So please be honest. If I'm ever talking to you in the conversation, and if that comes up, be honest. Don't say no just because you want to get funded. I see that time and time and time again, and that's only going to waste my energy and my time as well as yours. So Fundbox specializes in artificial intelligence. This is why they do this without the bank statements, which means they use technology to grab your information they need without needing your documentation, so they won't have to ask for your bank statements. Their computer does an in-depth analysis and gives you a much faster approval, meaning you can get a line of credit within 24 hours, very fast. This is way faster than most other services that are out there that offer this business line of credit. excuse me. Number 12, Express Capital. You can get working capital loans with 1 to 12 months, short terms, 5.9% rates, up to 250,000 in financing, equipment financing, be in business for at least 1 year, 50,000 in annual revenue. Okay. Cash flow, revenue based, similar to DAC, which was at the top of our list. Remember that? Number 13, fast upfront. Here you get unsecured business loans with financing up to 250,000. And here are more details. Bad credit is okay. No collateral. They ask for 3 to 4 months of revenue and merchant account statements. 550 credit score approval. So it's on the low, somewhat poor, kind of getting more into the fair range. No startups here. By the way, have you ever received alternative working capital or any other type of small business loan? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're wondering why I'm not as loud as maybe as I am in the other videos, or if I'm not loud but raising my voice, because it's a little late too, and I want to make sure I get this out to you. Number 14, Top Mark Funding. This company is specifically for the trucking industry that they do semi-truck financing and leasing. You can get approved with very little money down and up to 500,000 and get up to 3 years in terms. Again, we're factoring that being a medium/long term. They are similar to Good Capital. On this list, whose focus is on revenue-based funding as well. Additional lending sources, you have Rapid Finance. It's a great solution too, where I send many with minimal requirements. They do standard business loan terms, medium, some a little bit long, but they have minimal requirements. We're talking about 2 years in business, over 120,000 plus in annual revenue, with as little as a 550 plus FICO around that area, as well as they have merchant cash advances and other types of funding, lines of credit, so many more. How to get lower payments. And again, all this information is down below. You can access it through here, this post, and I will try to leave separate links for them, but majority of it will be here in this post. And just how to get lower payments. If you're asking yourself the question of how do I get lower interest payments, I'm right there with you. I know the feeling. If you've gone through it already and you didn't like it in the past, or you're currently looking and you're like shopping, you're like, I don't want high interest rates. And that's the majority of the people that go here and they try to get an SBA, but it's not. The reality is you won't always get access to that. And if you're currently waiting in one and you want an alternative, then there are options there. And I get it. You don't want to take those interest rates, but you got to ask yourself, is the benefit of getting the funding going to outweigh the cost of paying back? If it's a yes, and it's a no-brainer. So there's no such thing as an expensive cost or going into debt. It's about, does the benefit right now, for example, if I'm in, as a trucker, we're going to keep it trucking here. If I get a new truck, then that truck is going to produce me another 20 to 30,000 in monthly profits. Okay. And the common denominator here that I hear is that as a startup, you'd like to have another truck or two. And then you say, well, if I had this truck, I could be making 15 to 30,000. Okay, that's hypothetical, and I'm sure it can happen, but you got to understand the lenders and the risks they're taking by giving you that. They can't just do that, right? How are they going to ensure they're going to get their money back? It's not an insure yet. It's just a projection at that point. So you got to keep that up here. And so many people want that SBA because, well, I can do this without doing that, but it doesn't work that way in all cases. So you got to consider that into play, especially with government shutdowns at the time that I'm making this video. There's so much things that I won't get into SBAs, but if you want to know, I do updates all the time. And so I'll leave videos down below and you can subscribe so you don't miss any of that. Just some final thoughts, my recommendations and what you should be doing. And that kind of brings me back to up here, one of my favorite ones being David Allen Capital Inc. through revenue-based funding. They're a hybrid. They're not a merchant cash advance. People would confuse them with that, but they're a hybrid where they don't focus on taking a future percentage of your credit receivables. We don't do any of that. We, in fact, don't have any interest rates. We do total payback. Okay, I know that's hard to believe, and you're like, what's total payback? And what would that cost look like? Are there any additional fees to it all? Not really, but if you look again down below in the description, there will be a video about David Allen Capital. There'll be a post, Bank Breezy, the video advance. Some of the things I've already mentioned in this one video, how you can get up to 25K and even up to 2 million fast, incredible funding. Okay, and I'm not over exaggerating that. I've helped out many people in the trucking industry get this, and they're very proud and very happy that they've gone through here, and they would have wished they had something like this back then. And I get that all the time. People who've already received something or have been looking around, they're like, I wish I knew this before I got this merchant cash advance like that. It had huge high interest rates for me, or I went with this other type of small business loan, alternative loan, and it just wasn't the one that I needed, and it just wasn't working for me. So I needed something different. And this is the way to go as a non-startup with David Allen Capital. Now, here are more options, 5+ startup trucking business funding options you must take a great look at. One here, we have grants, the USDA, from 10,000 to 500,000 in rural areas, less than 50 employees with less than 1 million in gross revenue. The LISC, 5,000 to 20,000 given with the rural growth as well, like the USDA. We have NAB, lend as much as 10,000 per year, runner up about 5,000 in there. NAIC growth grants up to 4,000 that can be used for marketing, advertising, hiring employees, expanding facilities, and other specific business needs. We have the business minority grants as well. FedEx, the SBA 8A, it's not directly a grant or like it's directly where you're going to get the money from, but you can form connections and then those people can send your information to someone else, right? Lendio, as we went over, crowdfunding, friends and family, business lines of credit. More ways, we have business credits, equipment financing, inventory financing, 401k and IRA financing, securities financing, upstart, peer-to-peer lending. Those are great ways to get into, especially as a startup. And I believe that is everything that I wanted to show you in this video. So just to quickly wrap up some points, how to get fast funding, choose someone like David Allen Capital Inc. based off of revenue-based funding, no interest rates, no collateral, no hard credit checks, minimum months in business as a non-startup 4+ for the up to 25 for the up to 2 million, and 6+ months in business for up to 25,000, same day instant approval, so you can finally continue to build, grow, expand, get out of that tight pinch, start profiting in much faster and sooner, start getting more funds and start growing. And also, if you want to save that for a rainy day, for expenses, go ahead and do that. A lot of people do. As we went over, 450+ minimum FICO, best lenders in the industry. And I'm going to be here to back you up when you do go and you start your pre-qualification, go through your application process. I'll be here every step of the way with you, whether it's just texting, letting you know what's going on, and or phone call, email. I'll be following up with you to help you in your process. So that rounds up everything for how to get funding for trucking business. All the options you saw here on the table today, how to get fast money, all the small business loan options when you can't get money from the banks, you can't continue to get money out of your savings account, whether it's depleted, you can't withdraw because you're saving that for another day, rainy day, kids' tuition, whatever that may be, or you just can't turn to friends and family anymore, right? So that's everything in this video. Again, look down below in the description if you want to check out David Allen Capital as well as these. I'll leave that with different videos, the different options out there, how to get same-day funding, and a lot of different small business loan videos as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click on the bell notification icon so you don't miss a future video that I will be coming out with in the future. Okay, thank you.